Has it been over 3 weeks already since I made a regular vlog? Well, another open dragon mouth, and pretty late because I gotta head to the airport in a few hours to head for Pittsburgh, and I will get into everything regarding Anthrocon in just a few minutes, including one thing I need to rant about, but that'll be later. First, I need to talk about some things that are not quite relevant. But first off, an update on a story I talked about a couple months ago. If you remember, the movie Zootopia had a lawsuit for copyright infringement by Mr. Gary Goldman. Now, if you remember, he claims that Disney had stole his ideas, and Disney fired back saying that they did not do such a thing. And this case was being reviewed by a judge a couple days ago, and during yesterday's hearing on the complaint against Disney, U.S. District Judge Michael Fitzgerald had ruled that Goldman had not provided enough evidence to justify the case going to court, so the lawsuit has been thrown out. So Goldman pretty much lost his case before it even got started. He did, however, grant Mr. Goldman permission to refile another complaint if he provides more details, like the original pitch that he claims that Disney had stole. So unless he wants to push this even further, Disney's in the clear with this. Let's see. Now, recently, Nintendo had a revived version of their classic SNES. And word is that they are going to have a sequel to Star Fox, the original Star Fox. It is among the list of games that they're going to have released for the classic SNES. Some of the other games that are listed are Contra 3, Donkey Kong Country, Earthbound, Final Fantasy 3, F-Zero, 2 Kirby games, a Zelda game, Mega Man X, and lots of Super Mario games. How many we got? There's actually 3 of them. There's also Street Fighter, Castlevania, Metroid Punch-Out. So if you're interested in classic games, do check that out. Let's see. Now we'll get to some somewhat Anthrocon related stuff. First off, there's a couple of books that are slated. One of them a preview, in which, in fact, give me 1 second. I've been meaning to bring this up, but never got around to it for some reason. It's a book called Furry Nation, and it will be previewed on Sunday, July 2nd. So this will tell the story about the furry fandom in general, from birth to today. So if you're interested, it will be released on October 10th, so a few months from now. And there's an offer here that if you pre-order on Barnes & Noble, you can get this for $11.21. You can save over 38% from its original $17.95 price. So do check that out. There will be a panel at 10:30 on July 2nd. So if you're interested in it, do check that out. There is one that's slated for an Anthrocon release, and that is Symbol of a Nation, which is edited by Fred Patton. It is an all-original anthology of 11 short stories and novelettes featuring the anthropomorphized official animal or bird symbols of nations. Like here in America, it's the bald eagle. Now, this is designed to appeal to both SF and fantasy fans and fans of political science. So, quite interesting. I never thought that you could go that route into politics. Nowadays, I don't even want to go near it. They'll have animals from Belgium, Chile, Denmark, Italy, Malaysia, Mauritius, I hope I said that right, Namibia, Romania, Singapore, Spain, the United States, and Vietnam. So, once again, that is slated to be released this weekend. Do check that out. Okay, now let's get into some actual Anthrocon stuff. I'll be heading over there tomorrow. I'm heading to the airport in just a few hours. So I am actually arriving a little early this time. So things will start at noon on Thursday with a pre-reg badge pickup, and regular registration occurs at 2 o'clock. The rest of the day, there's some game demos, like Kitsune of Foxes and Fools and Bad Decisions. Let's see. There's a pre-con social mixer at 8 o'clock. We have To Absent Friends at 9 o'clock. Thursday night dance will occur at the same time at 9 o'clock, and we have 5 DJs lined up for that night. We have Rory, Dragon Boy, Vander, Big Blue Fox, always a big DJ there, and Cheetah.de. Friday registration opens at 9. Opening ceremonies opens up at 10:30. Let's see. If you are a sponsor, you'll have early access to the dealer's room at 11:45, so you'll get a 15-minute head start from everybody else. And everyone else will get access at noon. Let's see. Try to pick out some interesting ones here. There is a charity poker tournament at 2 o'clock, if you're interested. Of the main events, we have Nick the Singing Dog live in concert on the main stage. One of the many things that have been shoved into the main stage. Let's see. What else we got? Oh yes, I almost forgot. The Ursa Major Awards will be occurring at 4 p.m. Obviously, the voting is closed, so the winners will be announced this weekend. Let's see. Karaoke 5 p.m. Dreamcatcher Live at 5:30. Oh, 7 o'clock. One of my favorite panels. Whose line is it anyway? And once again, I wish I had video of that panel from the LFC, because I was getting good. I was actually getting good. So that will be at Westmoreland. In wait a minute, did they put it in the Westin? They did. They moved it to the Westin this time. Let's see, what else do we have? Friday night dance. 4 DJs lined up. We have Cosmic, Dreenix, Pilot, and Rainmaker. On Saturday, Let's see, as always, the sponsors get early access to the dealer's room at 9:45, and then it'll open up to everybody else at 10 a.m. Let's see, if you are a super sponsor, you have a lunch at 11:30 a.m. That will occur at the Allegheny Room. Oh, let's see. Fursuit Parade and photo will occur at 2:00 p.m. and it will start at Hall A, the biggest room in the convention center. And if I'm correct, I think they're going to take it outside again this year. I hope they do. Let's see. I'm trying to see what else we got. Oh yes, Matthew Ebel. I love this performer. He'll be performing at 4 p.m. in the main event room. Let's see what else. Now 6:30. Uncle Kage and Alkali will be performing, and yeah, yes, I already said my piece about 2, which, by the way, he is in the process of trying to curb his alcohol problem, and he is doing a day-by-day video of his progress, and I do wish him the best of luck. But it was his choice not to attend this year. But it was the board that decided that he is not going to get any stage time this year. But Alkali is a great comedian. Trust me, he is excellent. So we'll see how this turns out. And as always, I loved Uncle Kage's story hours. So I'll still attend that, so don't worry about that. Alkali is a great comedian. Let's see. Now, Anthrocon tonight, I believe that is the masquerade that they have. It's it seems like they keep changing the name of it. But if this is the one that I believe it is, that's the masquerade, and I do have plans on performing on this one because, for one thing, this would be my 10th Anthrocon, and 2, what I have planned has something to do with the Pittsburgh Penguins winning their 2nd Stanley Cup in a row, so I'll leave you to guess what I have lined up. Let's see. Saturday Night Dance. How many DJs do we have lined up? We have Fur, Swedish Dog Mafia, which that's a group of 3. That's Aja, DJ RK, and the Vayoti. And no one important will be finishing it off at 2 a.m. on Sunday. Alright, like I said earlier, the Furry Nation thing that occurs at 10:30, which will be in the room 407 at the convention center. Now this one, I suppose that this goes with the theme. Sports Mascots Fanatics Meet and Greets at 11 a.m. at the Fayette Room. And this was, I believe it's run by the same guy who did the SmackDown back at BLFC. Let's see, what else do we got? Fursuit Team Games occurs at the same time, 11 o'clock at the Allegheny Room. Charity auction occurs at 12:30 in room 407. Celebrity Whose Line Is It Anyway at rooms 319 to 321. If you have an interest in Zootopia, there is a fan discussion that will occur at 2 p.m. at rooms 319 to 321 right after. Charity show with Alkali Kage and Ronnie, which I don't believe I've seen him perform before, which will occur at 3 o'clock to 5 p.m. and closing ceremonies at 5:30. Alright, as always, occurs at both the Convention Center and the Westin. And from what I've heard, they've added another overflow hotel. And this time they've added the Drury to the list of hotels. So how many hotels is that? Has that brought us up to, including the Westin? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 hotels. So let me list them off. Westin, Courtyard, Drury. Sorry, we have 10. Pardon me. So Courtyard, Drury, Westin, Hampton, Homewood, Omni, Doubletree, Marriott, Renaissance, and Wyndham. That is a lot of hotels. And I forgot how many did we get? At least 7,000 last time. So we'll see if we can reach the next milestone, which would be 8,000. Let's see. Who's oh yes, our guest of honor. Let me try to find out who that is for this year. That would be Mr. Charlie Adler, who is a California-based award-winning voice actor and voice director. So, yeah, he has been named one of the top 13 voiceover artists of all time by Animation Magazine, and Voice of the Decade by Animation World News. So he has performed Buster Bunny from Tiny Toon Adventures, Mr. and Mrs. Big Head from Morocco's Modern Life, Chance T-Bone Furlong from SWAT Cats. You see, he also shares his skills through teaching acting for animation. So he will be around, and I believe he has a few panels lined up, so keep an eye out for that on the schedule. The charity. Who's our charity this year? This year we have Hope Haven. They strive to foster positive lifelong connections between animals and people through exhibits, educational programs, and their many conservation projects. The goal for them is to make certain the Earth remains a suitable home for all life by fostering discovery of the interconnectedness of the natural world. Now, to give you an idea of how much Anthrocon has raised, last year we had the Pittsburgh Zoo and PPG Aquarium, which we've raised $32,579. Over the years, overall, Anthrocon has raised over $270,000 to all of their charities. So I expect that we'll break the 30,000 mark again. And of course, there are different ways that they'll raise money. The charity auction, the charity show, the raffles. You can donate just outright. So we'll see how much we raise this year. Okay, is there anything else I need to point out? I don't think so. Okay, so once again, full schedule is listed on the website, or they'll have a packet for you when you register. Again, I am arriving early this time just because I can. Okay, now, I would usually, there is one more thing I need to do before I get to my little rant at the end. But I have to do the upcoming events. I completely forgot to do it last time. Let's see, for the month of July. Let's see. Aside from Anthrocon occurring 2 days from now, we have Lakeside Furs, which will occur in Austria from the 1st to the 8th. So a full week. Not too often we get events like that. SNES from the Czech Republic will be occurring from the 5th to the 9th. And by the way, I just noticed we got a lot of events this year. 10th to the 13th, Furtastic, which will occur in Denmark. And this is their very first furry convention. This particular event occurred back in 2011, and this is Denmark's very first con that they've ever made. We have East, a simple name, coming from the 12th to the 16th over in East Germany. What is it? Solringberg. London Furs, the Summer Weekender from the 14th to the 15th, obviously in London. South Africa from the 14th to the 17th over in South Africa. That's in Krugersdorp. I don't believe I've ever heard of this convention before. I think this is our first one. 20th to the 23rd, we have Finfur Animus over in Finland. Harbour City Fur Con from the 21st to the 23rd over in Sydney, Australia. On the 22nd, Furry Event of China. Let's see, and does it say where it is? It's Guangzhou. It will be occurring in. And finally, from the 28th to the 30th, What the Fur over in Montreal, Canada. So a lot of events occurring this month. Okay, one last thing I need to touch upon, and I saved this for last because with Anthrocon going on this weekend, earlier this month, June 6th, there was a death in the furry fandom. Mr. Xzaviorwolf of Charleston, South Carolina, who had died in a car accident. And if I'm correct, I believe he was still in his 20s, if I'm correct. Now, this would be a somber time for his friends and family. Unfortunately, there's one little thing. He's a member of the Furry Raiders, who I've talked about quite frequently over the past couple months. And furry fandom that they are, they decided to go to divided sex and either show their condolences and I've seen that there are some people who don't like the Furry Raiders but give them condolences anyway, and I really do appreciate that. And like I said, you don't have to like them, but at least showing a bit of respect, and that's all you can really ask out of them. Then there are others that decide to shitpost. Like one particular account tweeted, and I quote, "Who would win in a fight, a greasy Nazi fur or the new Buick LaCrosse?" Now, I've dealt with trolls before that whenever death had occurred, but this is a new low. Dislike them all you want, but when you start shitposting when someone just died in a car accident in their 20s, you will get no respect out of me. This is not acceptable at all. And I not only bring this up because of this, but one member of the Anthrocon Board of Directors, who I have mentioned in the past, Mr. Zydex Unicorn, who's had a history of disliking Chew and trying to get rid of him, and also his anti-fascist behavior on his Twitter, goes on to defend these people who shitpost against the Furry Raiders and Mr. Xzaviorwolf. With such a person being one of the people running the biggest furry convention in the world, if this continues, I do not see the convention going in a good direction. And frankly, my patience is running thin. Say what you want about whether Mr. Saga or the whole board decided to get rid of Chew just because of what people thought of him and his content or his posts or whatever, but this absolutely cannot happen. This is a man that is one member of the board that pretty much represents the convention, and directly from the website, he runs publications. I cannot see this convention going in a good direction with this man on the board. So I'll go ahead and say this. I don't know if Anthrocon will, or any member of Anthrocon will be looking at this, but I do believe that Mr. Zydex should be removed from the board of directors. This man is not thinking about Anthrocon the business. He is shaping Anthrocon, or he's trying to shape Anthrocon to what he into his image. So I do not believe that Mr. Zydex should be in a position where he can put his own beliefs into it and not think about Anthrocon as a business. Whether he would resign from the position, which I doubt he would, but Mr. Zydex is not a person who should be on the board. But yes, condolences to the friends and family of Mr. Xzaviorwolf. No matter what people think of this person or his affiliations, this is something that it is tough to go through. So, yeah, even though that this happened like a few weeks ago, it still hurts. And believe me, death is something that is tough to move on from, but it will at some point. So just keep powering through and just keep living your life and don't take it for granted. Alright, so other than that, I've already ranted for about, well, not rant for half an hour, I ranted for like just a few minutes, but I'll be heading to Pittsburgh very soon, so I will be arriving tomorrow. I will see you guys there. This Dragon's Mouth is now closing.